Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Community Rowing Video Analysis. By that I mean I get sent videos from my community, from my subscriber community on YouTube and on Instagram and from the Facebook Aram training group. And I analyze these videos. And I'm trying to find out what are the key elements for every footage I get in order to change the rowing to be more efficient and more effective. All right, this time it's a very well-trained comeback athlete from the United States. His name is Matt. Matt has been a good rower before, and he's been doing a lot of training in the meantime when he hasn't rowed for a couple of years, and now he wants to come back in a single and race 2Ks. And there's a significant difference, guys, between 2 and 1K racing. The amount of endurance you need is just on a whole different level. It's a different universe, because at the 1,000 meter mark, this is when you really start to feel the pain, and this is where you need a lot of endurance, and therefore technique is ever so crucial on a 2K. Now he's doing a 2K race here, a 2K training piece. I don't know if it's full or not, but we can see certain things. Matt, let's have a look at that. Let's we're at the beginning of your piece right now, and we can see already the following thing. You see that you pivot very early, so your trunk moves up already at the catch, and this leads to the point where your blades, my drawing actually is not very nice, let's delete this, do it once more, your blades right there are simply getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the waters. This means you do feel a lot of resistance at the catch, but it's not a resistance that propels the boat forward. And secondly, you don't get yourself in a position where you can actually hang and drive, or as Robbie Manson said, hang and bang. And the problem is that you become tired too quickly, muscle-wise, and especially here in the back area. Your back area here, I think your body position is very good concerning the back. It's not perfectly straight, but it is somewhat compact, so this is a very healthy and good position, as I think. And Fiona Wilson, a scientist who did some research on which position is good in a boat, I think she'll be happy to see that. But the problem is that you pivot upward, and let me play that video a little longer now. As you see every stroke, let's just change that playback speed. That's so nice on YouTube. Playback speed, quarter, and let's watch it some more. You see that first of all, you're moving down towards the finish, so you're pulling towards your waist. This is nothing you can change at this point. You'd have to change it at the recovery. Now would be the point of time. Please have a look, check my cursor, at your legs. Now you're coming forward, and you see, the legs are already bending. So there's never enough tension in your glutes on the backside of your legs. And the problem here is that your hip is still pointing backwards. Let me show you what I mean. You see that? This part is pointing in this direction, while this part is pointing in that direction. So it's like this. You can be a bit around, that's not a problem. But you have to wait until that lower section right there, or I'm trying to draw an arrow, looks nice, until that lower section in your back is pointing forward, because this is the section of your back that will help you to propel the boat with a nice upper body pivot. Most athletes, and please refer to that video I've started this channel with, whether or not you should have a front loaded drive or a middle loaded drive. Most people just bring half of their trunk forward, so this would be something like this, and they don't wait with their legs long enough. Matt, you do the same thing, so you only have half your upper body prepared. And the problem starts right now as we go forward and follow that. You see that you fall onto your legs the further you get to the catch. Just follow the next stroke. It will be the same thing. You don't wait long enough, and most of that upper body weight, you're still going forward with your upper body when you try to go to the catch. Now the problem here is that a lot of upper body weight rests on your hands, and The result is you have to reduce the weight on your handles, the trunk weight from your handles onto your seat, because you cannot lean onto something and pull at the same time. These are contradicting forces. So what you have to do is, the quickest way to reduce weight on your handles is to pivot upwards. And this is where a problem starts. If you pivot upwards, you get into that cycle that you can't get out through the entire drive. So your blade goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And the first time you connect is just before this moment, a little bit before it happened. Let's just follow that stroke cycle once more and have a look at the consequences of each step. So to recap, it all started right now. Hands lead out, legs bend too early. Early bend of the legs has a result that your hip, which is the crucial turning point in force vectors, so you get one force vector through from the shoulder to the hip and one to the knee. And if your hip is not fully prepared, if it's not pointing forward before your legs bend to slide forward or pull the boat underneath yourself, then first of all you become passenger in a boat, which means you cannot control it on the way to the catch, which means you miss out on a second acceleration phase. You basically slide forward in the boat, which you shouldn't do. You should actually pull the boat with your feet towards the finish line. And this works because you are heavier than the boat, but this only works if you use enough body tension. I frequently talk about this and teach this in training camps I do. This is one of the most common problems I see with almost all rowers, that they miss out on the second acceleration phase. Okay, just follow this once more. Now you have to lean forward while you are sliding forward in the boat. And this means you have to put a lot of weight on your oar handles. Why? Because your hip is pointing in the wrong direction right now. So therefore, it takes a lot of muscle strength in your back and trunk to keep that posture you're looking for. You know it's right. And you can't just do it, because after the first 500-600 you will become tired. And we will see this later on. And then now, as there's so much weight on the handles, your arms and shoulders become a bit stiff. You cannot loosely go to the catch anymore. And therefore, your blades come off the water. Buck. And therefore, at the catch, you need a long time to reduce your trunk weight from your hands and put it onto your seat, which is where it should have rested all the time. And secondly, you have to bring your blades into the water at the point of time where they already should be in the water. At the catch, there's a couple tenths of a second left to get the most necessary task done, to put the blade in the water softly, have no vertical slip. But if you leave too many tasks to be fulfilled at the catch, then the problem is that you cannot do all these tasks. It's just not possible, and therefore you start to drive with the blade already being in the water, or you just wait at the catch. That's when coaches say, hey, he needs to long at the catch. Yeah, he just has, most athletes just have a hell lot of things to do at the catch, which is not necessary. Whoop, and therefore drive starts now, blade is not quite in the water. Although, congratulations, you managed to get the blade, you sneak the blade in quite swiftly. That's good. Okay, but the problem already arose right there. You see that, what were the buttons for back? Exactly, yeah. You see that for the last strokes, you see that the upper body is pivoting forward. And now it's with the first bit of the drive, it's pivoting backward. So in order to get the blades into the water, you lift up the upper body, and therefore you're not in that position where you want it to be. So your back all of a sudden is more upright than you expected it to be, because you needed to pivot it so to get the blade in the water. And therefore this entire force connection is not right anymore. So the force vectors are not where you want them to be. So let's just make that line a bit thinner. So that force now is traveling through here. See if I can do this with the hand better. Pretty much straight down, and then into the hip. And the more open these angles are, so that the angle right there and that angle right there, the more difficult it is to sustain that position. It's close to being impossible. It might work for the first 200, 300, 400 meters, but around the 800 meter mark, when lactate really starts to accumulate, this is where you will feel that it's just becoming way too exhausting. Another byproduct is that as you spend a bit of your back pivot motion already at the catch and throughout the entire drive, your blade never sits still in the water, and there's not that connection where you sense, okay, I got it anchored and now it just propelled the boat past the blade. It doesn't work. And another byproduct is that you lean back too much. You lean back, whoop. You do keep nice body tension, but you lean back at a point of time where the blade is actually not propelling that boat anymore. Good. These were a lot of explanations what is not good. Let me explain how to change it. You change first. You let your legs wait. A common practice I use a lot in coaching is that I let people row with a straight back at the finish. I would never suggest you do this in a race or for regular rowing, but it's good to teach the body. It's called differential learning. You just do something drastically different. You just teach the body to do something completely different. Just let that upper body straight. The result is that you have very little problems to get the hands past the knees and bring the hip forward. Most people don't wait with the legs long enough because they feel like they don't have enough time to do so. But this is not the problem. You just loading up yourself with too many tasks. So if you leave the back straight, you enjoy that comfort of being prepared, and you don't lean back so excessively for the next stroke. So I usually tell my athletes to like 20 strokes. I call them reset strokes, and a reset, you can also do this in a race if it's going really bad. Just sit straight at the finish. This way you get your hip nicely forward before the legs bend, and then everything, all the positions throughout the drive are good again. So wait with the legs first. Good. Secondly, if you wait with the legs, then you will probably not have a huge problem that you put too much weight on your hands. I think you will probably have your hip farther back, farther towards the bow, naturally. You don't have to think about it. And your hands will feel pretty light. You will have a lot of space to move. This is a common phenomenon from most athletes don't understand how this works, but if you move your hands out first and let the hip follow, you support yourself, you support almost all your body weight with the seat, and therefore you don't need to support your body weight with the hands, so you can move the hands freely, and whenever a wave comes, you're not offset so easily. It's another byproduct of that. So still, task number one, let the legs wait. Let the legs wait. Be careful that you have light hands, but heavy elbows. But heavy elbows is not an issue for you. That's already good. So forward, and then at the catch, just make sure all you do is just open the arms. Fully extend the arms and put them in. By fully extend, I always mean keep a bit of reserve. Never fully stretch your elbows. Don't do that. It's not healthy. Just leave like 2-3 degrees and then put them nicely in. Get a bit of preload in your lat, and then get into that hang motion. And then the wrist solves itself pretty much. You will probably not pivot that early. You will probably feel that this stroke. Let's go back to regular playback speed. Okay, you will probably feel that the stroke is becoming longer and less dynamic, and this is always a good sign. I'm always looking for this. I don't think a dynamic stroke makes sense because the water per se is not a dynamic element. If you try to accelerate your hand in the water, it doesn't work. There's no quick motion in the water, so you should not expect to be able to have a very dynamic and fast finish of a stroke. The more I nurture you feel towards the finish of the stroke, the faster you're probably going. I hope this makes sense. Yeah, what I like, Matt, is that you have very good rhythm, but it's just visible that you become tired. Let's just go forward a bit, because later on it's more apparent. It's just really having also, it seems like you're having a bit of problems to breathe. At the catch, you hold a bit of a pause to get some air. And you pivot even more, so you don't lean forward that much anymore because you feel that's not effective. So you must have a good feeling for your body. That's something very positive to remark. Yeah. And what I also like is that you still manage to keep that boat somewhat in a continuous flow. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So I think if you focus on these two things, letting the legs wait and bring the upper and just bring the hands up towards the catch and leave the upper body in perfectly the same position, I think then you got it. Yeah. Very good, Matt. Okay. So I hope this makes sense, Matt, for you and for all the other guys watching this. It looks very good, very solid, but I think there's still some more we can just extract from the given physique that is available. Because Matt must be quite well-trained athlete. Okay, guys, that's it for today. If you have footage you would like to send, upload it to YouTube and send me the YouTube link. It's aram.training on Instagram, and I'm looking forward to see you soon, guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.